Good afternoon. It's Wednesday and it has been the busiest week ever. Genuinely, until this point, I haven't even thought to pick up a camera and start vlogging. And until about maybe 2 hours ago, I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do about the vlog this week. But I have had an idea. So I've talked about productivity. I've talked about how I organise my life. I've talked about my goals. I've talked about how I create things. But I haven't really talked about my downtime and the things that I do when I really need to relax, when I need to hit the reset button. So over the next couple of days, which are ridiculously busy, I'm going to show you what I do in that scenario, what I do to unwind. So in a way, you can think of this as being my guide to hitting the reset button. So, I don't have to tell you that drinking tea is a very big part of my life. If you've watched literally any video that I've made over the last year, tea has featured in it in some way. So it's not a huge surprise that this is one of the first things that I come to when I need to just take a break, take a breather. Tea is great for a couple of reasons. First of all, I find the act of actually making the tea quite relaxing. I think that actually putting the kettle on and waiting for it and then letting it brew and then putting the milk in and drinking it, that entire act is actually quite a therapeutic thing. And also, a couple of the meditation practices that I do have told me that it's a good idea to actually hold the cup of tea because the warmth is relaxing, but it also kind of locks you into the present moment a bit more. And certainly in our house, making a cup of tea is a social act. It's one of these things where my dad will shower upstairs and he'll say, "Do you want a cup of tea?" And normally it means that I have to come down to the kitchen, we'll have a little chat, we'll have a bit of a debrief about what we're actually doing at that point. And then we'll have the cup of tea and then you'll go and get on with your work. So obviously I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to making tea, but that's not the important aspect of it. It's the actual tea itself that is important. It's the act of making it, it's the act of drinking it, and it's the social aspect that makes it therapeutic to me. So this will always be number one on my list. Have a good cup of tea. So it's pretty late here now and I've been working on stuff for a good few hours now and I'm starting to get really tired. It's definitely the sort of time when I should be going to bed. And in a way, that's another way of me hitting the reset button. I think when I'm working on so many things that are like long-term projects, things that I'm actually doing little pieces of it day by day, it is very hard to walk away because I could just work on a task indefinitely. There's so many things that I need to do. But knowing when to walk away is almost a skill in itself. It's something that has saved me quite a few times from a lot of stress. So I always try my best to get a good night's sleep. And sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes it can't happen just because of how busy I am. But tonight is one of the nights when I can throw the towel in and just go and get a good night's sleep. So that's what I'm going to go and do now. So I'll see you tomorrow. One of the best things about the last year has been my friends Dan and Hannah moving into their own house. They've really made the place their own and I've done my best to help them when I can. There's been a lot of IKEA furniture building and requests for what appears to be my new specialty, cutting in. So our DIY days have become something of a staple, and the combination of good banter, problem solving, and of course trying to keep Dash out of the room we're painting is something that I truly enjoy. Oh, and there's always time for a cup of tea. Good morning. You join me at the end of my morning run, which, believe it or not, is another thing that I do to unwind. I'm currently on a bit of a streak with exercise, actually. This is my 23rd day running of exercise, and I can tell you that I feel fantastic for it. It may not seem like a really good thing to do to unwind, because obviously you're putting a lot of effort into it, but to be honest with you, the way I feel after it is great. Not only is there a sense of accomplishment with these kind of things, but also I think it goes hand in hand with the meditation. I've always said that on the days when I meditate and exercise, I really get the most out of the day, both creatively and sort of positively as well. And I don't always run. Sometimes I do circuit training, sometimes I do some rowing, sometimes I go climbing. But it doesn't really matter what I do because I do it every day and it's a way of unwinding for me. And also, it's a beautiful day. Running is a great excuse to get outdoors and make the most of this fantastic weather. So the evening's drawing in here and the week is coming to a close, and naturally so is this week's video. And it seems strange not to have mentioned the most important thing to me when it comes to hitting the reset button. The thing that my life revolves around. Now, I don't just mean playing music, I mean the part of music that everyone experiences. listening to music. When your life revolves around music, like mine certainly does, whether you're performing it, writing it, teaching it, any way that you engage with it, it's surprising how often you actually get to sit and listen to music. And that's one of those things that I really enjoy doing now. And when you do stop and listen to music, and you engage with it on that emotional level, it does make it all the more special. And within that, there are a couple of pieces of music that I do have a particularly special connection with. One of which is the piece of music that you're hearing right now, which is the 9th variation from Elgar's Enigma Variations, better known as Nimrod. And no doubt you'll have heard this piece of music before, it's incredibly famous. But this piece of music has an incredible effect on me. There have been several points over my life when I've listened to this music and it's just made everything okay again. It's incredible really, because after all these years it still has the same effect on me. It's like a normalising effect, it's like someone wiping the slate clean. And of course there are other pieces of music that I have an emotional connection with, but this to me is the one. And I think everyone should have a piece of music like this, and it doesn't matter what it is, but there has to be a piece of music that you listen to and it just makes everything okay again. It's amazing, isn't it? I can sit here for a few minutes with some complex vibrations in the air, and my mind is clear, and the slate is clean, and I'm ready to carry on.